Hey guys, I'm going to be doing my 25 bookish facts about me. I don't think I've been tagged by anybody, but I just love this tag, so I thought I would just participate. And I've been loving watching everybody else's tags and learning more about you guys. It was really hard to come up with 25 bookish facts, but I was able to kind of squeeze a couple of them in there. So hopefully you guys enjoy this video. Let me know down in the comments if you guys share any of these facts, because that's something I've been noticing when I'm watching everybody else's videos. It's like, oh, I do that too. So that's always fun. I'm just going to get right into it because there are 25 of them. Fact number 1, I keep a bookish journal. So after I read a book or while I'm reading certain books, I will take notes or I'll write a little bit about it. Fact number 2, I've read the entire Babysitter's Club books. I think it's one of the few series I've actually completed, and I'm pretty proud of it, seeing as there's like 200 books or something crazy. Fact number 3, my favorite genres are historical fiction and literary fiction. Fact number 4, I don't have a favorite author or a favorite book. Every time I try to narrow it down, I just don't get anywhere. So as of right now, I don't have one of either of those. Fact number 5, this one's kind of sad. I've never actually been a part of a book club, not counting like an online book club, but like an offline book club. I've never been a part of one of those. I've wanted to, but every time I find one, the times just don't work with my schedule, and so I never can participate there, which is kind of sad. But hopefully one day I'll find a book club that I can actually participate in. Fact number 6, I prefer paperbacks. I pretty much hate hardbacks. I find them really hard to read. I'll only read them if I absolutely have to, like if I find the book at a used bookstore and I don't see it in paperback, or if it's gifted to me, then I'll read it, but it's not my preference. Fact number 7, one of my bookish goals is to own a book that's at least 100 years old. And I've been looking at my used bookstore because she does have a lot of old books, but I just don't want to buy any old book. I want it to be a book that I have enjoyed in the past or I really want to read. Fact number 8, I keep a spreadsheet of my books. So I have a TBR list on my spreadsheet. I break up my spreadsheet into little sections, like my Latin authors project, my booktuber recommends project, my must-read books of the entire year. And that kind of keeps me on track because I get really distracted, especially on booktube, and I forget that I've been wanting to read these books for forever, and I kind of get like ADHD, and I'm like, wait, but this one looks so good, and then I'll pick it up, and then it'll be 3 months that go by and I haven't read any of the books that I was planning to read. So that's always good for certain things, but for me, I really have some goals that I've set for myself, and I have to keep tracking those goals, or I feel like, what's the point of making goals, you know? So I've been kind of at least giving myself some wiggle room every month to read just any book that I feel like, and then also make sure that I'm reading the books that I've kind of planned to read. Fact number 9, I love old 70s, 80s type covers. So like my Lord of the Rings covers here from the 60s, and I also have an edition of Carrie by Stephen King. I just love these types of covers. They are not the prettiest, but I just love them. They're usually unique and just, I don't know, like there's something about them that I love. So I have a couple of these on my shelves. Number 10, I love the smell of old books, and that's probably why I'm always at my local used bookstore. She has books everywhere. I'll try to see if I can insert a picture right here. Her books are all over the place, and they're all, you know, books that she's had for forever, or books that have been donated to her that have been owned for forever, so it smells so good in there. Fact number 11, I can only read when it's really quiet, so no music, no sounds. Sometimes my fan will be on too loud. I have to turn it off because I just focus on the sound rather than when I'm reading, so it has to be really, really quiet when I read. Number 12, I will read anything. I will read cereal boxes, shampoo labels, directions, signs. I have caught myself doing this without meaning to. It's not like I sit down at, you know, a bus stop or something and I focus on the sign in front of me because I have to read it. It's something I just end up doing. And when I was little, I remember I would eat my cereal and I would get in trouble because I would read the back of the cereal boxes, and I would just sit there and just read the whole thing, which is kind of funny because I have books. I have plenty of books. If I really wanted to read something, I'll just pick up a book. But I just caught myself doing this where I will read anything. I can't help it. I have to read it. Fact number 13, my first bookish fandom was Harry Potter, and I was 18 when I read the first book, so I was really late to the game. And ever since then, I haven't really been part of any fandoms really when it comes to books. I love Game of Thrones, but it's really hard to get caught up in that fandom because the books take forever to come out. So really what you end up having is just the TV version of the fandom, which I don't mind it, I love it, but it's not the same. Fact number 14, I can't read books in the car. I've tried, and it would have been so much fun to read books while on road trips, but I just can't do it. I get really dizzy, and it really like annoys me because I see other people doing it, and I could get so much done reading wise if I would just be able to read in the car, but I just can't. Fact number 15, 98% of the time I prefer the book to the movie. Fact number 16, I've never been one to judge a book by its cover. I will buy, whatever cover I find, usually because I buy a lot of books in the used bookstore and you can't really be picky. But recently I've really gotten into pretty editions of books. So I have this Lord of the Rings edition that I found on eBay that I love looking at it. And so I'm thinking I might be doing that with some books, is just, buy the prettier version and just feature on my shelves. I can't afford to do that with every book. It's just not going to happen. But having a few pretty editions makes me happy. Fact number 17. My most anticipated release of 2016 is The Winds of Winter by George R.R. Martin, because he has been playing with our feelings long enough and needs to publish this book. And when you go to Goodreads, it says that it's going to be published in 2016. So that's why I'm saying it's my most anticipated, but who knows? I'm hoping it's this year, but I'm not getting my hopes up because knowing him, it'll not happen. Fact number 18. My ultimate comfort read is Sarah Dessen. She's an author that I have to be in the mood for. Her books are very simple but sweet and just comforting, and so every time I feel like I need a book to like just give me that comfort, I pick one of her books. Sometimes you just need a break, a mental break, and those books are sometimes some of the best to really just recharge. Fact number 19. When I was little, I would write short stories, especially after certain books. When I was like 10 years old, I read a book about a little girl who had a pet chicken, and immediately after I finished that book, I wrote a short story about living on a farm with chickens. And so I did that a few times. I remember when I read The Babysitter's Club, I wanted my own Babysitter's Club, but first I had to write my own short story about it because it had to be just right. And I did that with a bunch of other books, but I don't really have my short stories anymore, which makes me sad. I only have one, and it's more like a YA series. It's like 20 chapters, but I don't have it. It's in my mom's house. And every time I look at it, I cringe, but I'm secretly proud. Fact number 20. Anne from Anne of Green Gables was the first literary character that I identified with. It was my first experience where I was reading about a character and felt like I connected with her. So she's always going to be special to me because of that. Fact number 21. I don't judge people for what they read, but I admit that I judge someone who doesn't like to read or refuses to read. I don't know why this is, because when it comes to other things, like what people do with their lives, I really don't care. It doesn't affect me. Do what you want to do. No judgment here. But when it comes to reading and someone saying that they just hate reading or refuse to pick up a book or tried one book and just it didn't work out for them, I kind of judge them a little bit, because it's like there's so many books out there. There are picture books, poetry books, there are sports books, shopping books. I mean, there are books out there. Read whatever you want to read, but don't tell me that you don't like to read anything. I mean, what's wrong with you? I don't know. I have to work on that. Fact number 22. It's very rare for me to read just one book at a time. Usually I read at least 3 at a time. For me to ignore 2 other books, that book has to be like amazing. I can't put it down. But it's very rare. Like, I like to cycle through my books, and I don't know, it works for me. Fact number 23. I love coffee table books, but I don't own any. And I'm working on that because I really want to get some for my living room, but I just don't know which ones are good. I need to probably go to the actual bookstore and like leaf through some of them. If you have any recommendations for some really cool coffee table books, let me know, because I am looking for something downstairs. And I mean, I'm probably going to be the only one that reads it, but who cares? Fact number 24. I love buying used books. not just because they're cheap, but because I love finding notes inside, or someone that's, you know, underlying things or written notes on the margin or a dedication. I just love that. I love knowing that someone had the book before me and enjoyed it and is kind of passing it on to me. So I love it. I'll always buy used books. And fact number 25, sometimes I'll hold off on buying a book set until the last book comes out. And even after the last book comes out, I'll sometimes wait to see what kind of editions are coming out. So for example, Game of Thrones, I don't own any Game of Thrones books. I've read all of them, but I'm waiting for the last 2 books to be published so that I can get a box set and have it look really nice on my shelves. So those are the 25 facts that I came up with. Like I said earlier, if you identify with any of these, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear about it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.